nice in the sense that they played well. They played despite being a new team in regards to two new players, Mikos and Marky. They meshed pretty well with a couple mistakes here and there, but there's potential. I definitely see potential in that team, and they have that momentum.
Potential there.
Yeah, the CLG style potential. Hopefully they don't lose to any wildcard team. Well, we are a wildcard region, so.
Yeah, technically, but our players are very powerful, and there's a lot of new faces, and that may have contributed to the results of last game for NAGA. However, they will want to come back for a 1-1 at least. They don't want to go 0-2.
Yeah, no team wants to go 0-2.
No one's,
yeah,
no,
for sure.
Course, no team
I'm sure NAGA, they're going to just be looking to just take that 1 point and just kind of reevaluate what went wrong this game, possibly further study 6.9. We haven't seen that many changes despite this big patch coming out. No new champion so far aside from that Rek'Sai being played by these two teams. And something to point out, guys, is that there will be a substitution for the Cerberus side. Shadow will be substituting in for Mikos, so that will be the support for the support. And Shadow, he's been teammates with these guys before, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Cerberus plays with Shadow. Shadow, of course, very well known for his Thresh and his Braum in last season, whereas Mikos was more on that Soraka sort of champion. So we'll see how this pans out for these two teams. Right now, we're just waiting for the teams to re-enter the lobby. There was a connection error while we were heading into Champ Select. And I mean, I'm excited. I mean, guys, there's still going to be another series after this. After this series, there will be the War Gods of the Liga versus Imperium Pro Team. So the New Bloods versus the champions of last season. There's the schedule right there. I believe that game will take place at 7 p.m. And these games are being played live at the Pinoy Gaming Festival at SM North EDSA. So there's still plenty of time, guys. It's only 3 o'clock. If you guys want to stop by, check out the games in person. If you want to check out everything that's going on at the Pinoy Gaming Festival, there's still time to check it out. And I believe, yeah, there's just lots of room.
Yung mga team bahay dyan, you can watch us. Well, you're watching us right now. If you can't go to North EDSA right now, we're really just waiting for the teams to start the game right now. Seems like there's a little bit of a problem here. That's to go, but there's a player missing.
Yeah, hold up. Alright guys, so we are just currently waiting for the players to start the game, guys. And let's see how this pans out for both the teams. I mean, I think while there's a lull, you might as well introduce yourself to the audience right now. You're a new face. Who are you, man?
I'm Atlas. There's really not much. I mean, I'm just a huge nerd, TSM fan mostly. Still very salty that they lost to CLG in the NA finals, but
I think we're all salty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a couple CLG fans in the crowd. I'm looking at you guys.
Well, I'm from the same school as you.
Yeah.
And Amplifier, so I've known him.
Shinbu as well.
Oh yeah, Shinbu.
Yeah, UP represent.
Yeah, Shinbu. Actually, my very first event cast was with Shinbu. It was very fun. I actually remember being really hyped up in the last minutes of that specific game. Not because the game was.
What event was this?
ESGS.
ESGS.
2 years ago, I think.
Oh, so that's been a while. So you've been around for a while then.
Yeah, but I'm still a really big newbie. But yeah, I was really hyped up, not because the game. I really wanted the game to end because I needed to go to the bathroom. So, yeah, Shinbu is a really good friend.
Well,
doesn't know how to lock bathroom doors though.
So is there a story behind that? That sounds like there's a story.
It's a story. Should I tell it now? Okay,
I don't know. I think you should just wait for Shinbu to get here. Like, I don't want to talk badly about Shinbu.
No,
and speaking of Shinbu, guys, he is currently at the Pinoy Gaming Festival. So if you're a Shinbu fan, you can probably catch him there. I believe he's casting this game right now at the venue itself. And I believe Asterai and Riku are accompanying him. So lots of casters everywhere. And guys, there's still going to be Pro Gaming Series tomorrow. We do have a 2-day schedule. Fridays and Saturdays is when we play the Pro Gaming Series, guys.
So you'll all have to watch out and tune in for that. Seems like the game will be starting soon. Everyone's spamming G in the lobby chat.
Everyone's excited. Everyone just wants to go.
They just want to.
It's been a while.
They're in it to win it.
Yeah.
They want this.
And it looks like we are now underway in Champ Select. Finally, guys, the match, game 2 between Cerberus and NAGA Esports. And right off the bat, Zed ban once
Zed
again.
already banned. They really don't want Fade to have that.
Yeah, they don't want to give Fade the Zed. Zed's really strong in this patch, and Fade plays a good Zed, so 2 of those combined together means insta-ban.
Yeah, that's definitely no-brainer ban there. Of course, Kindred, one of the strongest junglers so far.
Yeah.
Definitely also an insta-ban. I wonder what the rest of the bans will be. I wonder what the rest... Ooh, Zac.
Yeah, it's interesting how they keep on banning Zac. I believe Kulit did play Zac in the previous season, so maybe they're respecting Kulit's prowess on the Zac, and Cinderhulk did get buffed, so again, another lobby error. So unfortunate, 6.9 did come out with a lot of... Oh, I don't want to, like... There's just a couple technical difficulties. It happens, guys.
It happens. You know, Riot's spaghetti code.
Yeah.
IT and electrical engineering people would know this.
Yeah.
Spaghetti code. How do you code this? Definitely.
The struggles of spaghetti code.
I really like this drink.
Yeah, I mean...
It's got royal jelly.
It's interesting. Like, I mean, it's carbonated, so... It's a bit different from your typical Red Bull, your Booster C. I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm gonna go take a sip right now.
It's very strong and very good, at least for me.
Yeah, and wow, guys, we've got new stats. We're
Select.
upgraded. You can see the previous pick and ban from the last game, guys.
Again.
So let's see if there's anything different. Looks like so far, everything's looking the same.
Tom
Kench though.
That's an interesting ban. Does Akron play this champion?
I believe he does. And it looks like Cerberus might be setting up for possibly a pick composition. And wow, they did manage to secure the first pick, Alistar. Alistar at MSI. For those of you who are aware, the mid-season invitational, Alistar has the second highest pick and ban rate and actually the highest win rate so far in that tournament. Alistar really strong right now. He just has so many tools and he's viable in so many situations. If you need engage, Alistar has his headbutt pulverized. If you need disengage, he has his headbutt pulverized. His pulverized headbutt though. You gotta switch up the order. If you need a tower dive, he has his ultimate. He has somewhat decent sustain with that triumphant roar. It has been toned down a bit since then. And he's just overall really good, which is why he's the best support in the current meta. Meanwhile, NAGA, they have picked up the Graves for Kulit and the Maokai for Suzaku once again. Suzaku, he played a pretty good Maokai. I mean, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's just that
I think it was a timing and precision.
Yeah.
There. It seems like they might go for the Poppy and the Elise here. It will be interesting to see Elise because she's one of my favorite champions.
Yeah, and I feel like Elise is really strong in this current meta. There's a higher priority on just having those early game skirmishes in the jungle, being able to invade the enemy buffs, and Elise, the queen of early game. And those ganks are very potent with that Cocoon.
She can even contest. She's contesting with Rek'Sai right now on being the queen of early game pressure. But she has so many more tools during the ganks themselves, I believe.
Yeah, and it looks like they will hold off on that pick right now. It looks like I actually really like this because there was no need to secure the Elise right away as they had revealed their jungle. NAGA already revealed their jungler, and they just wanted to They just wanted to secure the power pick AD carry away from NAGA Esports as Luxuria. NAGA really like that Caitlyn. I've been talking to some of their players and they really like that Caitlyn pick. So once again, that will go to Marky, and Marky had an insane Caitlyn game previously. Very good positioning by Marky during that last game.
Crit machine.
Yeah, so let's see if we can do that again. Meanwhile, we do see the classic Braum and Lucian combo possibly being hovered by NAGA Esports. Ooh.
Ash, probably not Ash. She's a bit weaker.
And you know what? I feel like they might play the Ash. Ooh, the Vayne Varus.
Stop teasing us.
There we go. There we go. There's the Lucian Braum.
Yes.
Yeah, so Lucian Braum, classic combo. Really good CC in that bot lane. Really strong laning potential. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that works out against this Alistar Caitlyn in that bot lane.
Yeah, it's really easy to stack up for that Braum stun with those double shots coming from Lucian. But of course, with the Graves and Lucian, that'll be a very short-range AD duo there. So they might have to watch out for the rest of Cerberus' picks.
Yeah, will we see one of the new mages coming out from one of these teams right
I
now.
really hope
Azir
to see you on a mage.
didn't really get changed in this patch. The only thing that
It's a
was
small
changed
nerf.
was the tweak onto his ultimate. You can no longer pin someone on the wall and just
I
watch
can't do
him
that.
struggle. I believe they get popped out if they get
To
close
the other wall, to the other side of the wall.
either the
or
other side or
the
like
wall is
they
too
just
thick,
slide
they
out.
just slide down.
Yeah. So Chalk is a really good Azir player. I think ever since Chalk has been in the pro gaming series, he's been playing that Azir, and he's been playing that Azir very well. So he's no stranger to this champion. He plays this very well. And let's see what Fade has up its sleeve to counter this
Will be
Azir.
their final
Will he go
pick.
for the LeBlanc again?
Probably, but
Yeah.
let's see.
I feel like what would be good here for this NAGA team? I kind of like Lissandra. Lissandra does
Yeah,
provide.
Lissandra might complement this
Yeah.
really up-close, fighty style composition.
What else could work? I want to see something new though.
Lux.
Show me the Veigar. Show me the
Show
Brand.
me the Veigar. Any of the reworked mages, please.
Show me the Heimerdinger. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
forget
He
the
didn't-
other mages.
yeah.
Heimerdinger, come
He
on.
didn't get touched, but Heimerdinger is the best champ, guys.
Best champion.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll tell you a fun
Alright.
fact. If I don't get support in solo queue, I end up
Just
playing
play
Heimerdinger top.
Heimerdinger.
A lot of people don't like me for that, but what can I say? Play a mean Heimerdinger, and it looks like Fade going on to
Go for the
one of his
Karma.
signature picks with this
Wow.
being the Karma. He did play Karma quite a bit when he was on Celestial last season.
Yeah.
So it's another way to look at it. You do have that poke, you do have that movement speed boost for that Maokai, and I'm really interested to see how this will pan out for NAGA Esports. What do you think?
Hey, I don't think NAGA right now has as much a gauge as they should have, coming from the Karma mid lane. I think Alessandra might have been really potent, I think.
Yeah.
But the Karma, of course, the very strong poke and the speed boost and shields. Very potent, and of course, Fade has shown to be a great Karma player before, but I think Lissandra in this situation might be better. What do you think?
I feel like Lissandra actually struggles a bit. Don't quote me on this. I'm not exactly a mid laner, but if I recall correctly, I think Lissandra slightly struggles in this matchup against Azir, as Azir can outrange and out-harass this Lissandra in the laning phase. So possibly he just wanted to go for the stronger matchup, and we do see Fade has picked up teleport, so double teleport versus the heal on Chalk instead. So Chalk looking for the stronger lane dominance, meanwhile Fade just looking to create that global pressure. And you think anything will change from last game in regards to the openings from both these teams?
I do think that lane swaps will not be an option again, seeing as the dragon is very important. So I don't think a lot will change in the first few minutes of the game. I do want to note Fade's teleporter though. We were talking about how Lissandra might struggle in the matchup, but if he's taking teleport, then he'll want to, as much as possible, pressure other lanes. And I think Lissandra, even with a bad matchup against Azir, might use that teleport a lot more. And that's maybe just me liking the Ice Queen a lot more than Karma, but definitely a point to consider.
Yeah, let's see how this teleport does work out for Fade, and if this heal will be useful onto Chalk right now. And what do you think, like in regards to Dragons, talk about the new changes in 6.9. That's really the big story of the night. 6.9 came out tomorrow, but teams are forced to play on that 6.9 patch. What Dragons do you think would be beneficial for these teams right here? Like, which Dragons would be complementary to the Cerberus team composition, and which Dragons would be complementary to the NAGA composition?
I think both teams really want that Fire Dragon for that absurd amount of damage that you can get from the percentage boost. They have a lot of sources of damage in both teams, the Lucian, the Graves for NAGA, and Crit Machine Marquee, as well as the Azir for Cerberus. So I think Fire Dragon, both teams really want that. If there's a Fire Dragon that will spawn in the game, they will want to fight over that no matter what.
Yeah, and again, we do see that Maokai versus Poppy matchup in that top lane, so we probably won't be seeing another... Rift Herald won't be that important coming into this game. I doubt either of the teams will prioritize it. Usually I have seen a lot of the teams immediately rush Rift Herald at the 6-minute mark when their top laner is something like a Renekton, a Darius, or a Fiora, something that can really just bully out the opponent top laner. However, with these two top laners, they don't really use it, and we saw NAGA actually give the Rift Herald buff to Kulit in that previous game, and I don't think he managed to use it that effectively.
Yeah, it's not really... Rek'Sai could have used it, because she can counter jungle with her mobility and her clearing. However, now maybe if they actually do decide to get Rift Herald, they may want to give it to the junglers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They will want, Elise does want to counter jungle and just hound the opposing jungler if she can. And Graves will want that boost to his combat potential.
Yeah, for sure. And we are almost into the game, guys. Once again, this is Game 2 of the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Summer, powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. Drive your energy, guys. This is the stuff right here. You see this? From Korea, guys. This is from Korea.
It's got royal jelly.
And it's got the K ginseng.
Korean ginseng.
Yeah. Is that what the K stands for?
I think so. That's what they usually is.
Like, what if it's like potassium K or something? I don't know.
What?
But regardless, guys, this is the very first day, the very first week of the summer split, guys. We just saw a really exciting match between NAGA and Cerberus, and now we are loading into the second match of the day. Game 2 of NAGA Esports versus Cerberus, guys.
Right now, yeah, Cerberus has one win and NAGA wants to steal that second game away from Cerberus. Let's see how this game pans out as there is a pause. If you can't see the screen there. You can't. We can.
Yeah. We've got 2 screens.
2 screens. The power.
The power. You see everything, guys.
Double screen buff. This is the real clairvoyance right here.
Yeah. Well, is that summoner spells? They removed that summoner spell.
They removed that. Rest in peace.
Yeah, so rest in peace.
Clairvoyance. And what's the other one they removed?
Revive.
Revive. Oh, I can't do the Master Yi Revive.
Yeah, you know, there was actually
anymore.
a bug where they didn't actually remove it from the game. They just made it unselectable.
Yeah.
So there's these guys in NA who never changed their summoner spell from Revive. So even though they removed Revive, they're still able to use Revive. And I think that lasted for a solid 4 months after Revive was removed, where they'd have Revive.
They have the secret superpower Revive. But we have loaded onto the Summoner's Rift. We'll see what the big opening plays from both of these teams are in a few seconds. But right now, looking at the minimap, maybe just standard lines of scrimmage.
Yeah, to reintroduce the teams, guys, for the blue side, we will be having Cerberus. For the top lane, we have Ukes playing that Poppy. In the jungle, we will be having Trevor playing that Elise. For the mid lane, we have Chalk on that Azir. And for that bot lane duo, we will be having Marky and Shadow playing the Caitlyn and Alistar respectively.
As for Naga on the red team, we have Suzaku being a tree on the top lane, Colette shooting those jungle monsters down with Graves, Fade in the mid lane, Karma, and for the bot lane, Luxuria, of course, and Akurane with a potent Lucian-Braum combination.
Yeah, I mean, just
Akurane's
looking at the
Knight.
minimap, yeah.
They definitely want to be aggressive in this lane here.
Looking at the minimap, we will be seeing standard lanes once again. Looks like both junglers will... Looks like Cerberus has the tendency to start their jungler in that opposite side of the map with the top laner. Meanwhile, Naga really likes to start their jungler in the
Gromp
side closer to the AD carry.
Oh, yes, yes.
To the bot lane, rather.
Maybe they do want to actually put pressure on the top lane, maybe after that clear. We'll see.
Yeah, it really shows what the priorities are on these two different teams, where Cerberus is a very bot lane focused team. I mean, Marky is a very good AD carry, and Shadow and Mikaz are both very good supports. Meanwhile, Naga, you've got Suzaku. Even though he's playing a tank, he knows how to play those tanks well, and he hasn't really shown that much, but hopefully he can show his stuff this game with that Maokai.
Minions have spawned.
We shall see. And as a jungler, I really do like starting on the blue side because it gives you, on the blue buff side, because it gives you a lot more HP at the end of your clear.
Yeah.
Of course, red buff does give that little bit of mana generation, but that's more long term once the buff ends.
And I'm actually curious to see if starting red or blue has a more significant change on your jungle clear times due to the fact that they did change that blue buff and they did change that red buff. I guess that's something I will be researching later on, possibly when I get home, you know, just like playing some games.
Let's test out some jungle paths.
Yeah, for sure.
But looking at the changes at face value, it seems like red buff will give you a faster clear with that on-hit damage. When you hit something with red buff, it doesn't only refresh the buff, it actually applies the tick damage immediately.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big buff change.
For champions such as that want to auto-attack a lot, such as Warwick or Master Yi. Very off-meta, but champions like those.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Master Yi, they did remove Devourer from the game. However, in response, they added a new jungle item. The Blood Razor is back.
The
For those
oldest
of
the
you,
new.
yeah, for those of you who remember the Madred's Blood Razor back in Season 3 or so, that item is back into the game, and it's going to be interesting to see how it performs. Unfortunately, none of these junglers make use of that item,
Yes.
but we might see it soon. Maybe next game. I mean, IPT versus the Liga in that next game.
Surprise Blood Razor. The only regret I have about the new, a little bit of trade in the mid lane and favor of chocolate. What I really miss about the actual Blood Razor is the Wolverine claws.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right now
The
it's just
green and red claws.
Yeah.
I really like that item look.
So edgy.
And what's interesting to see is that we did see Khalid actually counter jungle the enemy team, whereas
Ooh, a little
Trevor
fight in the
ganking
top lane.
top.
Suzuku might be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, flashes away. They cannot follow up on that, but now Suzuku is flashless and half HP.
Yeah, so that's a very good gank coming in from Trevor, and NAGA actually telegraphed their play to invade that very poorly, because there were pings going down in that bot side of the map that did show that NAGA did invade the red buff of the Cerberus side. Meanwhile, Luxuria by himself in that bot lane. And
gonna give
Chalk, who
a little bit
already
more
1/4
experience at the cost of Akron's own experience, but the buff onto Colette is actually very big. That the new buffs are much stronger and much more valuable to contest and to counter.
It definitely pays off to steal the buffs from the enemy jungler, and with the new changes, you can actually tell when the enemy buffs are going to spawn, regardless of whether or not you saw it die. They do have two summoner icons, and Trevor was able to trade away that red buff of the NAGA side.
I
So
believe it signals everyone.
yeah, it does signal everyone
Yeah.
1 minute before.
So it gives you some time to plan. But of course, the team that gets the last hit onto that, gets vision onto the death. Ooh, a little fight in the bot lane. Shadow gonna go in just a little bit later. They don't really want to kill each other just yet. But more trades coming in the mid lane. Fade gonna want to try and respond, but on the back foot of that trade there.
So again, very even early game. There's a lot of trading coming in. However, the CS is still very even on most of the lanes. We do see actually a CS differential being built up in that bot side for Luxuria, roughly 7 CS. Meanwhile, there is
entire wave.
the same advantage in that top side. Fuchs was able to build up a CS advantage due to that early gank coming in from Trevor. Speaking of Trevor, Trevor making his way down towards the bot side. They might be looking at a gank here, as this NAGA bot lane is quite extended.
Playing to the aggressiveness of that matchup, Luxuria and Akron definitely want to push in their opponents there. Let's see what Trevor can do to help their bot lane out of this pinch.
And that's just very overconfident there to try and roam JD carry against a Caitlyn. That's very risky to try, and Colette
Poppy just gonna get harassed out, very low on health. It might be greedy if he stays here, since Trevor is not very near.
Yeah,
Trevor might go for a gank.
This does have his ultimate and flash available. Didn't have to force, didn't burn the flash during the initial gank. And Kulit will be forced to back away. The gank in the mid lane by Trevor was unsuccessful. Fade too fast, too furious with that shield.
Oh, Yux might be a little overconfident there. Almost falls down. Has to flash away. Actually, I don't think he needed to.
Yeah, Zaku actually got very low as well. One more turret hit would have spelled his death out for him.
Very close call for both top laners there. Actually, it's very curious right now. Colette actually opted to go straight for the Caulfield's Warhammer and the boots instead of going for one of the
so
colored buffs
they're looking
or the
to
trackers.
just establish the early dueling potential coming from Graves right now, rather than going for the wards and vision control. And Chalk, he's actually losing in CS by quite a bit. That's the only lane with the CS differential right now. Roughly 20 CS in favor of Fade.
And that's 3 waves.
Yeah, Fade doing a really good job of bullying Chalk in this mid lane right now. And Chalk, he can't do much. And I'm actually really impressed by Fade's karma right now.
Fade's karma doing a lot of work in the mid lane. That has something to do with Chalk going Stinger. It doesn't really help with the very fast trades that karma wants to do. It gives you attack speed, but not a lot of no AAP at all. Actually, for your spells to poke in and try to trade.
Yeah, Chalk just really looking to build the Nashor's Tooth as fast as possible. Well, looks like Karma will be looking to possibly go for the Morello Nomicon. Who knows? There's a lot of items that build out of the Fiendish Cone in the 6.9 patch. And you see Trevor attempted to gank that ball lane, however, NAGA playing very safe, farming up the best they can. And they really haven't been capitalizing on this Braum Lucian combo so far. It's just been Marky zoning out Luxoria very effectively, and Shadow going for those very nice type of pulverizing.
I haven't been going for the Winter's Bite plus auto attacks combo, but I think that has something to do with Shadow being so good at disruption with the Alistar. But we'll definitely get that HP back. As Noodle fight top lane.
Those wet noodles are starting to hurt, man. I mean, Yuke's just got taken down to a decent amount of HP right there. And it looks like Kulit, he's looking to possibly gank again. However, he was spotted by that ward in that river, so he'll probably just be clearing it out and walking away, which he does do so. Dragon and Retail are still up. Once again, guys, 6.9. The game is a lot slower paced in this early game.
More objective focused.
Yeah, you really just want to time your attacks properly. It's all about the timing attacks, the power spikes of your items and the power spikes of those levels. Once you hit that level 11, get that level 2 ultimate. Once you build your first item, such as your Infinity Edge, that's when you see those teams really start to group up and start doing stuff.
I think I really like these 6.9 changes. They really add a lot of strategic dynamics to each game. Each game is different because of the dragons. So finding the bot lane, Shadow going low there. It's definitely not going to fall. Xuri going in for the culling there.
Wow, that's doing a lot of damage right there.
A lot of damage. And
Hakurane once again with the very late Glacial Fissure.
Very weird Glacial Fissure right there. Maybe they need to work on that Glacial Fissure communication. But of course, this is a lot of pressure.
I think he's too used to playing that jungle, you know, just used to doing that damage.
And now teleport coming in.
Ooh, well, nice flash.
Here. But everyone in the bot lane is low. However, Colette is alone. Trevor is there for the support. Oh, everyone gets knocked up. Suzaku is alone getting those turrets hits out. Yux might fall down almost, but he's a tanky Poppy, and now everyone on NAGA is on the run. Shock gets a little bit bursted down and has to walk away. No kills for both teams, but that was
5 members of both teams in that ball lane, and no one died.
Yep, no
that had me on the edge of the seat, man. I mean, everyone was so low, summer spells burnt everywhere, and I really like how the teams, they're very careful in this regard. They don't want to throw away the game. There's a lot on the line. They want to make a statement in the very first game of the Pro Gaming Series, so they're making sure they don't throw. They're trying not to repeat the same mistake, and they know when to not go bloodthirsty. And very calculated.
They're paying lots of attention to other laners. Those teleports, actually Fate didn't use his teleport, so if ever there is another fight in, say, the bot lane or top lane, NAGA has the advantage.
Yeah. And this is around the period where we start seeing the items start being completed by the teams. We did see the Morello, Nomicon, and Nashor suits being completed in that mid lane. Spirit Massage has been completed by Yuke, so the items are all over the place now. This is when you see the team start actually taking these objectives right now. Trevor trying to set up a gank in that top lane, really wants to enable and open up the Rift Herald possibly. However, Kulit, he has a hunch. He's on his way to the top as well. Was spotted by the ward, no. So this will be the 2v2 clash in the top lane. Let's see what happens.
Oh, Suzuku is going to get ganked there. Kulit there for the counter tank, though Trevor might be in a little bit of trouble now. Yux is alone. Smashes Kulit into the wall, but now they want Yux's blood. And no kill again. Both top laners very tanky, and jungle damage contribution not enough to take either of them down. But this, of course, gives a little bit of pressure for Suzuku in that top lane.
Yeah, so
it seems like they want to go for this build.
Yeah, and like we said in this patch, he actually managed to steal it. It's really important that you steal those buffs, and you do have that timer now. Marky, will he die from this? Shadow's right behind him. Looks like he needs to be careful.
Oh, he got Shadow, though.
He will be able to escape. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we did see the blue buff being taken away. A small skirmish, a bit of poke going down. However,
like
both members walk
for
away.
Rift Herald. Did they go for it?
It looks like the Rift Herald was being pinged by Cerberus, so Cerberus were a bit wary of Naga going for that Rift Herald. They don't want to concede any objectives for free. However, it looks like Naga just wanted to take it safe, just take it slow and easy, and just back away.
You definitely don't want to get 0-2'd, so you will be a little more cautious in the game. More cautious than you were last game. So that Rift Herald will not be obtained right now. They have around 6 minutes left. Rift Herald is gone, and Baron takes his place.
It might be nice to just pick up the Rift Herald right before it dies. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. I mean, every advantage counts when you're playing League of Legends. Every opening, every advantage you take should be taken. However, what's also important to consider is that you shouldn't be jeopardizing your current advantage by taking that Rift Herald. And I guess if you look at the map, there's not really an opening where they can take the Rift Herald without sacrificing something somewhere else on the map.
You can't afford to lose tempo in this meta right now.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, we did see in the first game a lot of tempo shifts coming in from both sides, and the gold lead was actually very slim. Actually, right now, we do see a very slim gold lead coming in from Naga, only 1,000 gold. First blood hasn't been taken yet, 15 minutes.
Will we see a 0-kill game? Probably not. But here comes Khalid, though, going for that gank, gets exhausted. Shadow isn't taking the brunt of the damage, but Akarin is also getting low. They will have to back off. Akarin dangerously low, but Marky, even though he has a haste and won't try for that. Easily blocked.
We do see teleports are up very shortly, and we do see a very interesting jungle pass. Actually, Trevor will be looking to take that red buff. It's vital that you go for the counter jungle. Your chains are being down, and Trevor's caught.
Trouble here. Oh, that burst coming from Fade. He tries to loop around to the red buff, but no. That's first blood onto Suzuku.
First blood, 15 minutes in. Finally has happened, and let's see what Naga's able to do this. That was a very greedy play coming from Trevor. Some wet noodle fight slap incoming into that top lane. Suzaku and Yuke's just duking it out. Both of them still very healthy.
Grasp of the Undying, but it seems like Kulit is here for the backup. But Yux is already a bit too far for that shotgun to get some bullets in. No one's no one's taking this Cloud Dragon. Very
so
strange.
It looks like both of the teams don't really prioritize that Cloud Dragon. They don't really value the movement speed just yet, as they are still in lane. None of the turrets have died so far, so they feel. I'm guessing if I was in the mindset of one of those players, where you'd be thinking right now, we don't need the Cloud Dragon. We're just gonna lose a lot of resources and pressure by taking the Dragon when we don't need it. What we do need is just maintain the farm, maintain the pressure on all the lanes, and possibly once we start rotating around the map, once we start going between turrets, we can take that Dragon. But for now, it's not our priority, and that's something I really like about the game right now. There's a lot of different scenarios that pop up during the game, rather than just having a very dynamic, a very static way to play the game like it was in 6.8.
A lot of players have expressed concern about the RNG with the dragons and how every game, every time it spawns, it's a different dragon determined by randomness. But I feel that adds a lot to the dynamic nature.
It definitely does, and I feel like there are ways to counteract that. You can always scout on,
and
Shadow gets
too close. Shadow has that ultimate though. Akarin taking a few turret hits. Will Marky gets up to both teleports coming in. Yuk's actually gonna back off. He's slowed a bit. Will he get snared? Has to flash away. That's Now 5 people from NAGA, but Cerberus will not try and respond. They will try to push this mid lane in. Trevor doing all he can, but this gives Dragon control onto NAGA. What will Cerberus do?
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity to take this Dragon right now. It looks like Cerberus isn't going to give this up without a fight. Yuke's going in onto
Yuke's
Fade.
alone though, a lot of damage coming from them. Cerberus gonna slay 2 of them. Double kill onto Marky. Now the rest of NAGA has to run away. They are outnumbered and overpowered. Oh, Yuke's just going in without a charge and gets that kill onto Khalid. Trevor dangerously low, but safely scuttles away.
And that was a
Wow.
4-for-1 trade in favor of Cerberus right there. And I feel like Ukes is just doing so much in these team fights right now. They really need to respect Ukes' Poppy. I mean, he completely locked down that NAGA team right there with that W and dashing onto Fade, getting Fade down really low. Meanwhile, there was a miscommunication from that NAGA side. We did see 2 members killing the Dragon. I believe it was Kulit and Suzaku killing the Dragon. And that's your front line. Your front line was killing Dragon really
Your
far
carries
away.
were vulnerable.
Yeah, your carries were vulnerable by Ukes, and that was actually very good on Ukes by seeing the opening and going for it immediately. Meanwhile, you just had Cerberus doing their thing. We had Chalk hitting the back line very freely, getting a really nice Emperor's Divide, and Marky just doing what he's been doing this entire series.
Critting everyone.
Auto-attacking everyone to death, and he hasn't really been jumped on at all by this NAGA team.
It seems like the next Dragon will again be a Cloud Dragon. So the players will definitely not want to pay attention to that as much as Baron and other objectives.
I think that team fight's a really good example of why a lot of teams weren't really prioritizing the Dragon so much early, because there's a lot of risk when it comes to taking these big objectives, as the teams are much more incentivized to go contest them. So a lot can go wrong when you start fighting for these Dragons. We just saw that right now with NAGA. NAGA had a 1,000 gold advantage. They still had the gold advantage, but they did lose a lot of momentum by taking that Dragon buff, and it hasn't really paid off right now. The gains aren't immediate. It's something that you kind of see, and Rift Herald hasn't been taken at all.
No one has taken that buff this entire
Sad
game.
Rift Herald.
Sadness.
Well, I guess
Didn't
for
pay
the Rift
attention.
Herald, like, he's happy, like he doesn't die, and he can return to his Rift. He can return home without dying. So, you're welcome, Rift Herald.
Yeah, that Dragon was definitely not worth it for NAGA. They lost a lot of time over there, and the return that they got from this buff is not as good for your composition.
Yeah, it hasn't been showing just yet, and actually, none of the turrets have fallen 20
These
minutes
turrets are
in.
resilient.
It's
wow.
really amazing to think
It's
that
a strange feeling.
2 days ago, you'd have games where the turrets would fall within the first 5 minutes of the game. Now, we're 20 minutes into this game, and not a single turret has fallen.
It's a very strange feeling.
Yeah, it's strange.
Why are they still up? How many minutes has passed?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
very strange.
it's interesting. I mean, turrets, like back then, a week ago, like you didn't really care about them, but now they're there. Now they have
Oh,
this
hugot
place.
ba to?
I don't. No. That's not me, man. I don't do Hugot. I'm me.
Maybe someone else like Astra would have made that joke.
Yeah. I bet he probably has right now. Like he's probably casting in PGF, making all the Hugot he can. But
So far, nothing much is happening. Maybe the teams will want to go for the turrets now that there's not a lot to contest. If it's too early for the teams to go Baron. Yikes. Do anything. No, it's probably just going to be a wet noodle fight. But Trevor is here. Will he be able to catch up? No, definitely backs off and paying for the...
Very interesting to point out is if we take a look at Marky's itemization, he actually opted to go for the run-in Hurricane first rather than completing his Infinity Edge as his first item. And what's another interesting to point out is both supports did go for the mobility boots. There has been a trend where everyone gets these boots of swiftness. However, we see mobility boots on this end. Yuke's going in, and Trevor's right behind him.
But of course, Suzaku has that twisted advance to get some distance in and actually go to his turret. Very underwhelming gank, awkward gank from there. When you're facing another fight in the bot lane, it's NAGA Khalid versus Akrin versus the rest of Cerberus. There's 3v2 right now, but there's a teleport. 2 teleports coming in. This will be an advantage to NAGA. However, they fail to get Marky. Oh, they do get Marky in the last bullet hit. And there's a twisted advance securing Shadow. Here comes Yux though. Oh, very good dodge there by Khalid. Yux is in a little bit of trouble. That's 3v1. Khalid goes down. Yux just one more auto attack, maybe a few. And now Chalk is here. Gets chunked down a bit. Trevor, now, oh, the Shurima
Tokyo
shuffle. Wow. Suzuki actually goes through. Chalk now dangerously low. Look, Syria gets that kill. Trevor now in danger. Where will he go? That's a very good flash. And Yux is going to try, and the turret kills saves Trevor, but at the cost of his own life.
Wow, that was a really good trade. The tables have turned once again. A 4-for-1, 4-for-2, I believe. 4-for-2
Yes.
in favor of NAGA Esports, and they will be taking the third. We just saw that happen to NAGA a while ago, and this new meta, man, I mean, really back and forth games, the team fights going in either favor. I'm not sure if it's because of the meta or if it's because of how close these teams are in regards to skill level right now. And there's just so much going on. Luxuria, very good positioning compared to the previous game. And I mean, Suzaku was doing a very good job of being that annoying frontline tank, just like getting in the face of everyone. And GG well played. And that was actually really good timing by that dive. They timed it perfectly with the teleport of Fade and Suzaku.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they did have the numbers advantage
yeah,
there.
and Fade didn't have to teleport in that fight. So he still has that teleport available. Dragon is now up. That will be the second Wind Dragon, Cloud Dragon of the game. And looks like NAGA Esports is looking to set up for this. So this will be their second weird Cloud Dragon that will increase the movement speed out of combat by 30.
And that's actually very big.
Yeah, that
Trevor
adds up.
gets caught out instantly. No, not instantly, but they're gonna splash that bug as soon as it gets hit. As soon as he comes down, bug splat. That's the real bug splat.
Yeah.
Seems like the rest of NAGA will go for the mid lane while Luxuria and Colette will go for the dragon. That's a very fast dragon.
Yeah, that was actually really fast. They do have the second dragon, and look how fast Suzaku is. Look at it go.
Now it's a 30 moves and defuse out of combat. That is huge.
Yeah, that allows you to walk around the map fairly quickly.
15, a little, but 30, that's already big.
Yeah, and you couple that with the Elder Dragon, come 35 minutes, you're looking at another 50. It's a 50%. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So 45 movement speed bonus, possibly.
Basically an extra pair of boots. No, not a pair, just one boot.
Yeah.
What's strange about these boots items is just to show one of them.
Well, it says boots. Like, actually, the item description is plural, but then
So,
the icon is only one.
Like one, so
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you're buying shoes,
they only show one.
they only show one shoe. But then
Yeah.
you're still buying shoes with the S. Well,
Yes.
yeah, you're still buying shoes with the S.
So maybe the item icons aren't the product themselves.
Like, I
they're
mean, the
what they advertise
shopkeepers,
them as.
the shopkeeper knows what's up, man. He's been in the business for a while. And Tokyo's
Oh, Tokyo
Shurima
Prep.
shuffle.
Acrain alone in the middle of everyone here. Has to back away, but Shock is dangerously low. Acrain, of course, falls down. That is one kill, but Shock is low. And the explosion from the powered Q. The powered Q does get him. And everyone else in NAGA on the run has to defend this mid lane.
That definitely wasn't worth it. Support for your mid laner, and this will stop the trade coming in.
Suzaku coming in.
Wow.
And whoa, wow. This opens up Fade to get that shadow. And everyone else, will they dive this? Yux is in the way, but they will not try and get that one.
And with that, looks like NAGA are going to be looking to take this mid lane turret. They do have the poke from Fade available. However, NAGA keeping up the trend up and playing this very safely, playing this very calculated, and will back away. That's actually a 5,000 gold lead in favor of NAGA right now. 9-7 is the score right now, and that's actually a fairly significant gold advantage coming into this game, roughly 26 minutes in.
I feel like servers tunnel vision too much on Activate. And they got 3-man knockup, which opened up the rest of NAGA to just fire down, causing Chalk to just go down to the explosions.
They had vision in their own jungle, but they didn't have vision in the NAGA jungle, so they weren't able to spot the locations of Suzaku and I believe it was Kulit coming in with that flank.
More vision, please.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because Cerberus had a really good vision control in the previous game. I think this might be due to the fact that Shadow's playing rather than Mikos. Mikos was a very macro-oriented support player where he made plays around the map and he prioritized vision control and just roaming with the jungler. Meanwhile, Shadow, he likes to be that mechanical bully in that lane and just go for those lane-dominant plays. And we're seeing that right now. I mean, Shadow and Marky had a lot stronger laning phase compared to the previous game, whereas in the previous game there was a much stronger vision control on the server side. So it's really interesting to see how these supports add so much or remove to the game.
Oh, that's
wow,
painful.
Trevor.
Trevor just gets chunked.
He needs some magic resist. I mean,
Wow.
get him a Spirit Visage. That hurt.
That Karma doing a lot of work, definitely. And I want to note what you said about the supports, because in the previous game you said Migos has a lot to do with the leadership in services, at least as a support. And now Shadow is playing. So that definitely hasn't changed the dynamic a bit. Maybe that's why you said there is less macro.
Yeah, and I feel like, and actually Naga is actually doing something similar where they're actually alternating between Ocarine and Badger. So the trend in the pro gaming series so far seems to be swapping out those supports. And unfortunately, Badger's not playing today. It would have been nice to see him play. But Ocarine, he's been playing pretty well. He's had some iffy moments with those glacial fissures. However, he's had his moments as well. I mean,
yeah, that earlier
give and take.
Under tower is great. Definitely. I really want to see that kind of meta come up where you have a roster of players you can switch in and out.
Yeah, like
it's
something
really
like Team Liquid sort of has.
Yeah,
but then again, there is problems to that. Like, I mean, if we take a look at the OG and if we take a look at the LCK in Korea, I believe Longzhu IM is a very good example of what can go wrong if you try to pull something like that. They have an 8-man roster, and they've been struggling. Like, the players are very talented, but they haven't been able to develop the synergy probably since they're swapping players every single time. And what's interesting to note is I actually really like how Cerberus is playing this right now. Rather than going for the aggressive wars, they've said, all right, guys, let's take a step back. We can still come back into the game with the Caitlyn this year. And once again, like, I was bashing on their vision control a while ago, but their vision control is a lot better now.
Maybe they heard us.
Very good defensive wards all over. 3 pink wards right now, just completely securing the entrances through their jungle. And this really prevents Naga from doing their thing. And Cerberus just is able to just farm up and not fall too far behind. If we actually look, we do see a CS advantage for Marky. However, it's not enough. I mean, there's a really huge CS advantage in that top lane and a really huge CS advantage in that mid lane for Suzaku and they
definitely have to watch their item spikes when that gold from the CS does come in. But Dragon will be up in 30 seconds. That will be an Ocean Dragon coming up, I saw in the Dragon Pit. And that buff will definitely help.
Yeah, that really helps when you're trying to go for the prolonged sustain trades. And I think it synergizes pretty well with that air buff that Naga already has, as you can just heal up while you're transitioning between the lanes.
Just poke up with Fade and everyone else just just running around, dodging everything.
But what's something to point out is that there are pings going on to Baron, and you see Cerberus with very good vision control. Naga has no idea that Cerberus is taking Baron right now, and they do need to be careful as it might be a questionable trade. Dragon for Baron, what is better? Suzaku's actually diving out the Shadow, so this will be a free Baron.
Is alone, 3v1. I don't think Marky wants any part of that fight. Shadow flashes over the wall very safely, and Baron secured by Cerberus.
Yeah.
Baron for an Ocean Dragon. I think that's very worth the Cerberus. This gives him an opportunity to come back.
Yeah, it gives him an opportunity to come back, and it offsets a lot of the momentum that Naga had. However, if you look at this in the long run, this is much beneficial for Naga Esports. Once they secure the Elder Dragon, it will add up quite a bit by securing this Ocean Dragon right there. However, let's see what Cerberus can do with this buff, as that's really what matters.
Cerberus really needs to make use of this big Baron buff, but Baron buff doesn't help against Fade just poking in. Teleport has to be burnt by Suzaku to come in. Yux actually blocks the dash coming from Naga's champions. It seems like they successfully defended the first wave of offense from Cerberus, and as long as Naga can repel these pushes that they have, this Baron buff means nothing. It is longer than before, from 3 minutes to now 3.5.
Yeah.
But as you said, the Dragon buff will have a bigger impact later once then.
Yeah, it looks like Cerberus is actually backing away immediately. They didn't even manage to get a single turret from that Baron buff, and Marky looking to push this bot lane up. They'll be looking to possibly taking that bot lane turret. However, they do have lots of ways to clear the wave. Kulit is in the vicinity, recalling right now actually, and Marky abandoning the wave, afraid of getting picked off by that Naga team composition.
Fade is one-shotting these casters the back buff on them. It's absurd.
Yeah, he hurts right now. He's 3-1-4. He has the Ludens, he has the Morello. He has that Void Staff and that Long Rod as well as the Sorcerer Shoes. So that's lots of magic penetration and a lot of ability power. And actually with the new changes to the turrets, he's actually going to be doing a lot of damage.
Try and backdoor this? Yeah, the turrets have backdoor protection.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
they
that didn't do
realize
anything to
that
Suzaku. Suzaku's still really healthy despite tanking that turret. So that was actually a very good play by Marky. He managed to stack up the wave for the bot lane and secure that turret.
Definitely not worth it for NAGA to get a little bit of damage in the inner turret in exchange for their bot lane not being defended. Let's see how the fight will play out. I assume there will be a fight in the next few minutes.
This Baron buff is a quarter left remaining, and looks like Cerberus are looking to really make something happen right now. Ukes off the W. We won't be going, but this turret should fall through the Sazir and do that buff right now. Just one auto attack is all they need.
They're not going for it.
It's still alive.
Fortunately
It's still
for
alive.
Cerberus,
Wow.
yes, they cannot get the turret. Those turrets being tankier has a lot to do with why this Baron buff is not as potent for Cerberus. They're going from the back foot. It's just one more auto attack. Come on, guys.
Yeah, and what's something to point out is the next dragon that's going to spawn will be the Elder Dragon. So NAGA will be having that huge power spike if they're able to secure this Elder Dragon. A bigger power spike compared to this Baron buff. And let's see what happens. This Elder Dragon spawning roughly 3 minutes now.
I want to see that huge Elder Dragon again.
I mean, the model is just really cool.
Yes.
Like, imagine just having a bunch of figurines, an army of dragons. You got that Elder Dragon in the middle, those other dragons
I would
to
buy
the side.
those. Yeah. I would like display them. Right now, everyone wants to seem to go to the mid lane. That's like the focal point.
Yeah, they haven't
this part of the
really
game.
been developing these side lanes, and I can't blame them, as if they try to go for these side lanes, there is a potential to force a poor 5v4 in that mid lane. There is a chance that the side laner might get ganked, and these top laners aren't exactly the best split pushers. They don't really, none of the champions on these two compositions really have the best split push potential.
Indeed. And even if they did go for the split push, these turrets are tougher.
Yeah,
It's harder to
for
get
sure.
them down. So there's more opportunity cost when you go for the split push and your laner or your team gets ganked and destroyed. It's definitely not like before where the turrets would just melt under Zizrot and your tankiness and your damage.
And what's something to point out is actually that Cerberus has managed to regain a lot of the gold that they had lost initially. From a 5k gold deficit, it's roughly 3.5 now, so the gold lead has dropped by quite a bit. I'm guessing that's just due to the farming of both of these players right now. We do see that Marky has built up quite a substantial CS advantage over Luxury right now, has completed the Infinity Edge, the Runeland's Hurricane, the Rapid Fire Cannon, as well as the Lord Dominic's Regard. So that is quite a lot of shred and a lot of damage coming in from Marky right now.
Of course, and Luxuria's only finished his last whisper. That's only a last whisper, I believe.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the gold right now. We can actually see that there's roughly 1,000 gold between those two players, which is roughly the equivalent between the Lord Dominic's and the last whisper.
Trying to take this red buff here and from to Luxuria. That is a small advantage onto NAGA, denying Marky that chance to slow people down with his Runans. I think that's pretty big if they do get to fight in the next few minutes while the red buff is up, because that means in an alternate universe, Marky would have had that red buff and he would have that area slow with his Runans and his auto attacks.
Yeah, that is true. And Elder
Here
Dragon
comes the
has
Elder
spawned now.
Dragon.
Everyone's pinging all over the map. They really want to contest this buff right now. They don't want to give this away free at all. Let's see what happens. Everyone's going on the aggressive, very aggressive positioning between these two teams. And Cerberus rather, going on the aggressive and shoving that mid lane up.
They have control over this area right now.
That was really
NAGA
smart by
backs
them.
off. They're still waiting on the wings. That dragon is so
tanky. You don't
huge.
want to...
Yeah, you don't want to aggro that right now. It's very tanky. 16k HP. Wow. Can't these teams just like help each other? Take this Elder Dragon down? Right now it's just going back and forth.
Elder Dragon. Those shields, they're just like playing around. I feel like the Elder Dragon could actually be seen as the big objective where it's not exactly necessary to take. If you take a look at this, now the top in mid right now, but it looks like the team fight's about to break out.
Start. And Shadow. Yux is in. 1v4, very tanky, but he's alone. Chuck is in his side. That might be a bad position though, because he's open. And now,
Surya,
why? You get knocked down. Akron, that's a very weird racial fissure there, opening up a kill for Marky. And now, sorry. And now, control onto Cerberus.
And again, NAGA with the same mistakes that they were doing in that previous game with Surya. Very questionable positioning on that game right now, but it looks like NAGA's not giving this up. They're going on to Trevor Faye, doing his best.
Shadow gets a two-man knockup. A lot of damage come from Marky. Chuck gets that last hit. Kill secured. Clit was shooting from over the wall, but he's a shotgunner. Can't really do much from that range. Now Cerberus still has the control of this dragon. That was a very courageous teleport there, but it made them losing part of it.
Yeah, and Klit's not going to give this up without a fight.
Up.
He wants to secure this Elder Dragon.
We want to do
that? In.
And
dies.
Almost hitting that shot, but
yeah, and coupled with those mistakes, I feel like NAGA tunnel vision on this Elder Dragon way too hard. They had an opportunity, an avenue to go take that mid lane or pressure that top lane turret, and instead they tunneled onto that team fight in the Elder Dragon pit, and they did get punished for that. That was an ace for Cerberus right there, and the gold is only 1,000 right now with that Elder Dragon buff on 3 members of Cerberus, so they will be doing quite a bit, and it looks like NAGA will be conceding the Baron buff right now. So I feel like NAGA really needs to step up. They need to wake up, they need to shake off the mistakes that they did and just really regain their focus, as right now they're slipping their focus, and that's going to cost them the game if they're not careful.
Very fast from Marky and Shot. Oh, does not get that lucky hit. He gets sniped down.
Ouch.
How? Marky's unstoppable. Those crits are just terrifying.
And for the first time in this game, Cerberus does have the gold advantage right now. It's only 100 gold advantage, but it's something. And when you consider that their team comp is very scary in this late game with the Caitlyn and with their Yuke's going in. Nice gold.
Yuke's getting chunked down. Akron is defending the rest of the team, but that's a lot of damage coming from Chalk and Marky. The tank just falling down. Another turret down. They will want this inhibitor turret. Will they get it? There's only 3 members to defend this. They want this so bad, and they will be able to get this. The inhibitor is also in danger.
They could possibly end the game. They have the Elder Dragon, they have the Baron. That's a lot of damage. And Marky is healthy. They want to do this right now.
Well, fight breaks out. Everyone in Cerberus is fairly low except Marky, but Marky may be all they need. Trevor's just tanking the turrets casually. Marky in the front lines. Not really under threat, and they will back off, realizing this is
was a huge gold swing right there. 3,000 gold right there within the last 2 minutes in favor of Cerberus, and Cerberus just really showing how good they are. It looks like they are a very well-oiled machine with this teamwork, and we were talking earlier about how there's a redeeming quality for this Cerberus team, how the stars of this team would be that bot lane on Marky and Shadow, and yeah, that's a huge win. I can't wait. I bet Luxuria, whoever gets that top lane wave is going to be pretty... Well, they're not going to be happy. They're losing the game right now. But that's a lot of farm, man. Looks like it's going to be the lucky guy that walks away with that farm.
And it seems like will not be opting for that previously powerful Sterak's Gauge.
Yeah, so for those of you who are uninformed, Sterak's Gauge no longer stacks with Malmortius. You can't get both of them. You have to choose whether you prioritize the physical shield, I guess if you want to call it that way, or you get the magic.
Both low health steroids are now named Lifeline, which is a unique passive, so you can't stack them anymore. And looking at the itemization, Fate actually went way earlier for the Magi Soul Stealer, and I don't think
that's not paying off.
That's not paying off right now.
He's died twice within the past 10 minutes or so, and you lose a lot of stacks. You really get punished.
10 stacks.
Yeah. Is it 10 stacks?
Yes, you lose 10 stacks.
Okay, I thought it was something like a third of your stacks or something.
That was before. Now the maximum amount of stacks is 25. And you get more per kill and assist. but when you do go down hard.
Yeah, so
Now it's a 0
that
stat.
is not paying out for Dave
Sadly.
right now. He's starting to fall off. The power of Karma mid is starting to fade, and
Shredding
meanwhile,
his turrets, though.
the Emperor has arrived with that Azir. The late game Azir is now really scary. Azir will be doing lots of damage, lots of zone control,
Yeah,
coupled with that marquee on the gate. Lots of damage.
my life, Trevor and Chalk. And that's not just damage in CC, that's having your Marky to read it. Stream shuffled misses. Bullet going in though. What? Oh, that two-man knockup might be enough. Suzuku coming in. Lots of damage though. Chalk gets a kill. Suzuku going down 1v3. Yux is blocking everyone else. Oh, actually. Shadow headbutts Skillet over the wall, might escape. Chalk goes down way too deep. Trevor trying to guess Luxuria. Now Skillet is 1v4 and he goes down this turret. Gonna hit Yux, tickles him a little bit.
And Marky actually did build against the range, and with that, it looks like the Cerberus are going to be looking to end the game right there. 2-0 on the very first day, the very first week of the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Summer. Cerberus walks away with that 2-0 with the 3 points right off the back, placing NAGA down at the 0-2. What a game, what a series, and what a great way to showcase the strengths of 6.9.
Wow, that game was just back and forth,
Yeah.
but in the end Cerberus, bearing their fangs, just go straight for Naga's throat.
And I mean, without a doubt, Marky, MVP of the series right there. He had very spot-on positioning during both of those games. He never made any positioning mistakes other than the really iffy early game in that very first game. But he picked up the pace. He did his job as the AD carry very well, and he showed that even in this mage meta, the AD carries can shine, guys.
Yes.
And with that, 2-0 now, that's going to leave Cerberus with 3 points in the very first day of the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Summer Split, guys. And once again, we are powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. Drive your energy.
Real power.
We are not yet over. I believe at 7 p.m. we will be back. 6 p.m. we will be back with Imperium Pro Team, the champions of the Pro Gaming Series 2016 Spring versus Wargods de la Liga Filipinas. And those guys are the champions of the Challenger Series. So the Kings versus the Challengers. Let's see what happens. And once again, guys, we are live at the Pinoy Gaming Festival in SM North Edza, guys. Make sure you check it out. Lots of things happening there, and the games are also being casted there as well by our very own GS Riku, Asterite, and Shinbu. And once again, guys, this has been GS Neep,
And I am Atlas.
and we'll be right back. And you're watching the Pro Game Series. That was a great way to end it.
That burst coming from Fade. He tries to loop around to the red buff, but no. That's first blood onto Suzaku.
First blood going